Good morning. Welcome to the Millionaire Book Club. My name is Prairie Hunter. Side effects of tapping in with me every single morning do include personal development, mindset transformations, paradigm shifts, and the ability to think your way to success. So I'm super blessed this morning, super grateful that you are here. Drop me something that you're grateful for in the chat. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for this day. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my spouse. I'm grateful for my children. I'm grateful for my parents. I'm grateful for another day to serve in my purpose. I'm grateful for another day to be uberly responsible for my energy, right? To put out exactly what I want to receive back to me. I'm super grateful for a good solid foundation, right? I'm in a good home because I told y'all we had so much rain over the weekend and it didn't touch us. So I'm super grateful for that. Definitely praying for all of the people that's dealing with flooding issues, all of the water that we've been collecting because of this rain. But I'm super grateful and blessed for Mother Earth for washing away whatever needs to be washed away, clearing the universe, giving us that good rain because we definitely need it. Okay, so drop me something that you're grateful for. Good morning, Crystal. Welcome, Queen. I'm glad you made it back to this side. Super grateful. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the daily word read. I said I'm super grateful because so today is our first day back on Instagram. Okay, so my Instagram is iCoachWealth. If you're not following me on YouTube, definitely go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube, iCoachWealth. You can catch the replays to all of the live reads every single morning on there. For like the last 3 weeks, all of that's fresh too. So YouTube just got started. We was on Facebook for a while, coming back to Instagram now. Okay, so the book club was established January 4th, 2021 this year. We are currently today actually starting our 9th book, so I'm super blessed about that. Just so blessed, so grateful, because man, I know for a fact if I wouldn't have been doing the book club every morning, holding myself accountable, finding my way to give back to the universe, then I know for a fact I wouldn't have been on book number 9 for the year. I know this for a fact. So I'm super grateful about that. Super excited to start this book, Think Like a Monk by Shetty. He also has a phenomenal podcast. It's called Purpose. So definitely check out his podcast, Purpose. Follow him as well at Shetty. He talks a lot about what we talk about, right? The law of attraction, the power of our minds, positivity, love, light. He does all of that. So super grateful. So today I plan to get through the intro and a little bit of chapter 1. The intro and a little bit of chapter 1 today. So let's get the daily word read. It's a good day. Today is June 28th. All right. So the daily word for the day is expectation. Monday, June 28th, the daily word is expectation. Expectation keeps my mind positive and my heart full. Living in a state of expectancy kindles a quiet excitement in my heart, keeping me passionate about my life. I expect good things, peace and prosperity, health and plenty, and my positive thoughts and feelings help create those conditions. The expectation I feel is my faith in action. I need not wait for good things to happen to feel grateful, eager, or happy. When I make the choice to live with a grateful, happy heart, I am creating fertile ground that encourages the seeds of joy to bloom. Any fear or trepidation I may have let stop me in the past is no match for the positive expectation that keeps me confident and eager to go into the world to meet my good. For everyone who asks receives, and everyone who searches finds, and for everyone who knocks, the door will be opened. And that's Luke 11:10. So expectation, I expect good, I receive good. I expect good, I receive good. I say this every day. I write this every single day in my journal. I expect good and I receive good, right? And when you tell other people that, they be like, oh, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you not really. It don't really happen that way. I don't expect this, or that to happen, right? All of these bad things. But even that, you are in control of. You are attracting. Good morning, Shannon. Good morning, Barb. Welcome. Drop me something that you're grateful for. Crystal said, I am grateful for just waking up. Grateful for everyone. Man, this has been a journey. I am learning so much. I'm so glad that you're learning, because I'm also learning so much. And that's so funny. I was talking to my hubby yesterday, and I was telling him, everybody who's been with me since January, we are getting a crash course in this law of attraction thing and the power of manifestation. And we getting a crash course because we are consuming so much information at one time. You know what I'm saying? We're not just studying one book for 2-3 months. Like, we on book number 9, y'all. Learning so much, so many different applicable skills that we can start using in our life right now to start living happier, to start living healthier, to start living a more balanced and whole, fulfilled life, right? It's people that's out here happy, but it's not really balanced. And unless you really going about cleaning up the inside, right? If you're not cleaning up that inside, your happiness and all of your abundance and your fulfillment is probably unbalanced. I'm not going to say all the time, but I'm pretty sure. I'm grateful to wake up as well as my kids. Yes, Shannon. I'm happy to have you here. So let me tell y'all about Shannon. She is awesome. So I know y'all know that I formed a little study group so we can start actually, moving, like doing things, starting businesses, building. And so she joined the study group. She took the business credit course that we all did together, and she is taking action. So congratulations to Shannon. She got her LLC in order. She about to get her business stuff popping. So that's amazing. I'm just very, very grateful that I could help the queen, that I could be of assistance to guide her and to lead her. And I want to help everybody who want to be helped, right? I want to help myself. We're going to do this thing together. Barb said, I'm grateful to see another day. I'm grateful for God and his goodness. I'm grateful for what he has for me and what he's already done. I'm grateful for my husband, my grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren. I'm grateful for being able to be on the Millionaire Book Club this morning. I'm just grateful. And I'm grateful, Queen, that you had an awesome birthday weekend. Yes, my birthday weekend was great. Thank you. Very relaxing, very peaceful. Very rejuvenating. I didn't do a whole lot, didn't post a lot. I was present, right? I was present. We found a trail and we walked the trail, and it was like deer all around us, and I had no fear. It was a really, really, really good time. Really good time. Shannon said, thank you. I'm excited. Yes, Queen, me too. Mobile dentistry on the way, right? Mobile dentistry on the way. So let's see. Our card says, always do your best, right? So these cards are 4 Agreements card deck that I pulled from. This was the 5th book we read in the book club by Don Miguel Ruiz. Very good read, very quick read. If you have some time, I definitely suggest you go back and read this if you haven't, but it's a great book. So this card is an always do your best card. Love and nurture your body. Look how pretty that is. Love and nurture your body. Wow. It's a beautiful card. Okay. It says, your own body is a manifestation of God. And if you honor your body, everything will change for you. Practice giving love to every part of your body. This will plant seeds of love in your mind. And when they grow, you will love, honor, and respect your body immensely, right? You will love, honor, and respect your body immensely. So I don't know how many of y'all seen this. Alicia Keys had posted something a couple weeks ago, and she was talking about doing shadow work in the mirror, right? Like actually just looking in the mirror naked and taking all of you in, right? Speaking positively to yourself, accepting yourself, looking at yourself without judgment. Literally like accepting every part of your body and being grateful for it, grateful for every stretch mark, every roll, every ashy spot, everything, right? And doing this without having a whole lot of judgment. And when you first start doing this, you probably look into the mirror and you do see a lot of imperfections, right? I notice it when people take pictures. The first thing, like when we take a picture, we're looking to see if we look right, right? Or if something is wrong or if something is off. So with this shadow work technique that she was talking about, it's just about looking in that mirror, and being grateful for yourself, appreciating yourself, because we so unique and beautiful. And yeah, I like it. So definitely go ahead and try that if you haven't. Let's see what's on the bottom. Ignore the opinions of others and don't take anything personally. Okay. Ignore the opinions of others. We get this often. And don't take anything personally. Whatever people do, feel, think, or say, don't take it personally. Others are going to have their own opinion according to their belief system. So whatever they think about you is not about you. It's about them. Right. And when you start adopting that type of mentality, you can do anything. You are limitless at that point because you are not looking for validation from nobody. You're not looking for support of nobody. You know that the support that you need is going to be sent to you, right? At the right place at the right time. You know that the validation you need comes from within, comes from how you feel. Are you feeling good about the things that you're doing? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling motivated? That's how you know. That's the only validation you need. If I truly cared about what people thought, y'all think I would have started this book club, getting on here every single morning, right? Reading. No, like I wouldn't have, but I had to be strong enough and wise enough and brave enough to not care what nobody else said. I know that this is what I'm doing for my self-care, right? For my growth on my journey. And everybody's journey and the way they grow is different. But if this is the way you choose to grow, I love to have you here. Absolutely. So we're going to get started with the read. Let's start the read. I'm going to do the intro. I told y'all I'm going to do the intro and probably like a little bit of chapter 1. These chapters are a little longer than the other books, but that's okay. We'll break them down. And if I say something that resonates with you, definitely go ahead and drop an MOC in the chat. I'm sorry, Jay. I got to take this paper thing off of here. Say bye-bye to Jay. Bye. Definitely drop an MOC in the chat. That means moment of clarity. It's my way to connect with you guys, to know that you are taking value from this, that you are learning something. And it doesn't happen every time, but if it does happen, let me know, right? Just give us a new way to think about things. If you have like an epiphany moment, I love to see it. And when you drop the MOC, let me know what your MOC was too, so we can go into further conversation about it if need be, right? Because a lot of times I'm reading, and so when I see the MOC, it's after the fact, right? And I'm like, what was you talking about? But good MOC, right? But what was you talking about? All right. Introduction. Let's get it started. Introduction. If you want a new idea, read an old book. Attributed to Ivan Pavlov, among others. When I was 18 years old in my first year of college at Cass Business School in London, one of my friends asked me to go with him to hear a monk give a talk. I resisted. Why would I want to go hear some monk? I often went to see CEOs, celebrities, and other successful people lecture on campus, but I had zero interest in a monk. I preferred to hear speakers who'd actually accomplished things in life. My friends persisted, and finally I said, as long as we go to a bar afterward, I'm in. Falling in love is an expression used almost exclusively to describe romantic relationships. But that night, as I listened to the monk talk about his experience, I fell in love. The figure on stage was a 30-something Indian man. His head was shaved and he wore a saffron robe. He was intelligent, eloquent, and charismatic. He spoke about the principle of selfless sacrifice. When he said that we should plant trees under whose shade we did not plan to sit, I felt an unfamiliar thrill run through my body. Okay? When he said we should plant trees under whose shade we did not plan to sit, right? So that's all about being of service, right? Being a servant leader. Doing it for the benefit of the whole, not just the self. I was especially impressed when I found out that he'd been a student at IIT Bombay, which is the MIT of India, and like MIT, nearly impossible to get into. He traded that opportunity to become a monk, walking away from everything that my friends and I were chasing. Either he was crazy or he was onto something. My whole life, I've been fascinated by people who've gone from nothing to something, rags to riches stories. Now, for the first time, I was in the presence of someone who deliberately done the opposite. He'd given up the life the world had told me we should all want, right? Did the world tell you, program you with a certain way to design your life? Or did you design it, right? By what you want. Okay? He'd given up the life the world had told me we should all want. But instead of being an embittered failure, he appeared joyous, confident, and at peace. In fact, he seemed happier than anyone I'd ever met. At the age of 18, I had encountered a lot of people who were rich. I listened to a lot of people who were famous, strong, good looking, or all three. But I don't think I met anyone who was truly happy. Afterward, I pushed my way through the crowds to tell him how amazing he was and how much he'd inspired me. How can I spend more time with you? I heard myself asking. I felt the urge to be around people who had the values I wanted, not the things I wanted. Okay? I felt the urge to be around people who had the values I wanted, the habits, the character traits, right? Not just the things, the houses, the cars, the money, right? People who had true happiness. The monk told me that he was traveling and speaking in the UK all that week, and I was welcome to come to the rest of his events. And so I did. My first impression of the monk, whose name was Gauranga Das, was that he was doing something right. And later I would discover that science backs that up. In 2002, a Tibetan monk named Yangye Mingyur Rinpoche traveled from an area just outside Kathmandu, Nepal, to the University of Wisconsin-Madison so that researchers could watch his brain activity while he meditated. The scientists covered the monk's head with a shower cap-like device, an EEG that had more than 250 tiny wires sticking out of it, each with a sensor that a lab tech attached to his scalp. At the time of the study, the monk had accumulated 62,000 hours of lifetime meditation practice. 62,000 hours of lifetime meditation practice. Who meditating that much, right? A monk. As a team of scientists, some of them seasoned meditators themselves, watched from a control room. The monk began the meditation protocol the researchers had designed, alternating between 1 minute of meditating on compassion and a 30-second rest period. He quickly cycled through this pattern 4 times in a row, cued by a translator. The researchers watched in awe. At almost the exact moment the monk began his meditation, The EEG registered a sudden and massive spike in activity. The scientists assumed that with such a large, quick bump, the monk must have changed positions or otherwise moved. Yet, to the observing eye, he remained perfectly still. What was remarkable was not just the consistency of the monk's brain activity, turning off and on repeatedly from activity to rest period, but also the fact that he needed no warm-up period. If you're a meditator or have at least tried to calm your brain, you know that typically it takes some time to quiet the parade of distracting thoughts that marches through your mind. Rinpoche seemed to need no such transition period. Indeed, he seemed to be able to come in and out of powerful meditative states as easily as flipping a switch. More than 10 years after these initial studies, scans of the 41-year-old monk's brain showed fewer signs of aging than his peers. The researchers said he had the brain of someone 10 years younger. Researchers who scanned Buddhist monk Matthew Ricard's brain subsequently labeled him the world's happiest man after they found the highest level of gamma waves, those associated with attention, memory, learning, and happiness ever recorded by science. Okay, so he was super happy, they say. Gamma waves, delta waves, beta, theta. Look into all of this stuff, y'all. Frequency. I don't know if y'all hear it right now, but I got some frequency playing in the background, right? And it's like 528 hertz right now, but it started at 174 and it go up and up and up. It's called solfeggio frequencies or something like that. Look it up, right? Look it up. It's powerful. Indeed, he seemed to be able... Researchers who scanned Buddhist monk Matthew Ricard's brain subsequently labeled him the world's happiest man after they found the highest level of gamma waves, those associated with attention, memory, learning, and happiness ever recorded by science. One monk who's off the charts may seem like an anomaly, but Ricard isn't alone. 21 other monks who had their brains scanned during a variety of meditation practices also showed gamma wave levels that spiked higher and lasted longer, even during sleep, than non-meditators. Okay, so that's something to think about. They got all that activity going on in their brain and they sitting completely still. I'm pretty sure a monk's imagination is very vivid and strong. That's why. Why should we think like monks? If you wanted to know how to dominate the basketball court, you might turn to Michael Jordan. If you wanted to innovate, you might investigate Elon Musk. You might study Beyonce to learn how to perform. If you want to train your mind to find peace, calm, and purpose, monks are the experts. Brother David Steindl Rast, a Benedictine monk who co-founded gratefulness.org, writes, a layperson who is consciously aiming to be continuously alive in the now is a monk, right? So drop a 111 if that's you right now, currently. Right? If it's not, that's okay. It's something to work towards, to grow to. But if this is you, drop a 111. A layperson who is consciously aiming to be continuously alive in the now is a monk. It's me for sure. 111. I want to be happy now, not later. It's not nothing that I'm waiting for to come to, like, all of a sudden this drops on me and then I'll know my happiness and know my worth. Like, no. I'm already happy. I know my happiness. I know my worth. And I know that I am in control of that feeling, right? I am in control of creation, right? Using my mind. Monks can withstand temptations, refrain from criticizing, deal with pain. Listen, y'all, listen. Listen to what monks can do and ask yourself if you're ready for this challenge. Not because we want to be monks or nothing, but because we want the calm, the peace, the purpose that they have, right? We don't want to necessarily transform into a monk, but we do want that peace, that inner peace. So listen, monks can withstand temptations, right? They self-disciplined. They can refrain from criticizing, so they're not easily angered by people, right? They don't allow the outside circumstances to affect the internal peace. Deal with pain and anxiety, right? They can deal with that stuff. They can deal with pain and anxiety. They know how to quiet the ego, and build lives that brim with purpose and meaning. Why shouldn't we learn from the calmest, happiest, most purposeful people on earth? Maybe you're thinking it's easy for monks to be calm, serene, and relaxed. They're hidden away in tranquil settings where they don't have to deal with jobs and romantic partners and, well, rush hour traffic, right? So they don't have all of these triggers around. Their environment is conducive to the lifestyle they want, right? But that's not for people who want to achieve that type of lifestyle but don't necessarily want to be monks. We have to learn how to achieve that calm with all of the things around, right? All of the distractions. Okay. So they're hidden away in tranquil settings where they don't have to deal with jobs and romantic partners and, well, rush hour traffic. Maybe you're wondering, how could thinking like a monk help me here in the modern world? First of all, monks were not born monks. They're people from all sorts of backgrounds who've chosen to transform themselves. Matthew Ricard, the world's happiest man, was a biologist in his former life. Andy Puddicombe, co-founder of the meditation app Headspace. How many of y'all use that app before? Headspace. Founded by Andy Puddicombe, trained to be in the circus. This is what he did before he transformed into a monk, right? I know monks who were in finance and in rock bands. They grow up in schools, towns, and cities just like you. You don't need to light candles in your home, walk around barefoot, or post photos of yourself doing tree pose on a mountaintop. Becoming a monk is a mindset that anyone can adopt. Like most monks today, I didn't grow up in an ashram. I spent most of my childhood doing unmonk-like things. Until the age of 14, I was an obedient kid. I grew up in North London with my parents and my younger sister. I'm from a middle-class Indian family. Like a lot of parents, mine were committed to my education and to giving me a shot at a good future. I stayed out of trouble, did well in school, and tried my best to make everybody happy. But when I started secondary school, I took a left turn. I'd been heavy as a child and bullied for it. But now I lost that weight and began playing soccer and rugby. I turned to subjects that traditional Indian parents don't generally favor, like art, design, and philosophy. All this would have been fine, but I also started mixing with the wrong crowd. I became involved in a bunch of bad stuff, experimenting with drugs, fighting, drinking too much. It did not go well. In high school, I was suspended 3 times. Finally, the school asked me to leave. I'll change, I promised. If you let me stay, I'll change. The school let me stay, and I cleaned up my act. Finally, in college, I started to notice the value of hard work, sacrifice, discipline, persistence in pursuit of one's goals. The problem was that at that time, I didn't have any goals apart from getting a good job, getting married one day, maybe having a family, the usual, right? And that's literally the usual. Go to school, get a job, get married, right? Had his nice picket fence, White House. Mm-mm. I suspected there was something deeper, but I didn't know what it was. By the time Garanga Das came to speak at my school, I was primed to explore new ideas, a new model of living, a path that veered from the one everyone, including myself, assumed I would take. I wanted to grow as a person. I didn't want to know humility or compassion and empathy only as abstract concepts. I wanted to live them. I didn't want discipline, character, and integrity to just be things I read about. I wanted to live them. For the next 4 years, I juggled two worlds, going from bars and steakhouses to meditation and sleeping on the floor. In London, I studied management with an emphasis on behavioral science and interned at a large consulting firm and spent time with my friends and family. And at an ashram in Mumbai, I read and studied ancient texts, spending most of my Christmas and summer holidays living with monks. My values gradually shifted. I found myself wanting to be around monks. In fact, I wanted to immerse myself in the monk mindset. More and more, the work I was doing in the corporate world seemed to lack meaning. What was the point if it had no positive impact on anyone? When I graduated from college, I traded my suits for robes and joined the ashram, where we slept on the floor and lived out of gym lockers. I lived and traveled across India, the UK, and Europe. I meditated for hours every day and studied ancient scriptures. I had the opportunity to serve with my fellow monks, helping with the ongoing work of transforming an ashram in a village outside Mumbai into an eco-friendly spiritual retreat, and volunteering with a food program that distributes over 1 million meals a day. Okay, so the volunteering little retreat that they did is named the Govardhan Eco Village, and then the food program is Anamrita. He said, if I can learn to think like a monk, anyone can, right? And why are we wanting to think like a monk again? Because we want a more calm, peaceful, purposeful mindset, right? Lifestyle. The Hindu monks I studied use the Vedas. Okay, they messed up. Not me, okay? They put with, but it should be would. The Hindu monks I studied would use the Vedas as their foundational text. The title is from the Sanskrit word Veda, meaning knowledge. Sanskrit is an ancient language that's the precursor of most of the languages spoken in South Asia today. You could argue that philosophy began with this ancient collection of scriptures, which originated in the area that now covers parts of Pakistan and northwest India at least 3,000 years ago. They formed the basis of Hinduism. Like Homer's epic poems, the Vedas were first transmitted orally, then eventually written down. But because of the fragility of the materials, palm leaves and birch bark, most of the surviving documents we have are at most a few hundred years old. The Vedas include hymns, historical stories, poems, prayers, chants, ceremonial rituals, and advice for daily life. In my life and in this book, I frequently refer to the Bhagavad Gita, which means Song of God. This is loosely based on the Upanishads. something, y'all. If you got the book, you see the word Upanishads. Writings from around 800 to 400 BCE. The Bhagavad Gita is considered a kind of universal and timeless life manual. Good morning, Bree. Thank you, Queen. Good morning, Michelle. The tale isn't told about a monk or meant for a spiritual context. It's spoken to a married man who happens to be a talented archer. It wasn't intended to apply only to one religion or region. It's for all humanity, right? So listen to this, the Bhagavad Gita, right? Different than every other book. Why? Because it's not geared towards one type of religion, Hindu, Buddha, Christian, none of that, right? It's geared towards humanity, all of life. Eknath Easwaran, spiritual author and professor who has translated many of India's sacred texts, including the Bhagavad Gita, calls it India's most important gift to the world. In his 1845 journal, Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote, I owed my friend and I owed a magnificent day to the Bhagavad Gita. It was the first of books. It was as if an empire spoke to us. Nothing small or unworthy, but large, serene, consistent. The voice of an old intelligence, which in another age and climate had pondered and thus disposed of the same questions which exercise us. It said that there have been more commentaries written about the Gita than any other scripture. Okay? I got to look more into this thing, the Bhagavad Gita, because I've never really heard about it or been exposed to it at all. But it said that there have been more commentaries written about the Gita than any other scripture. In this book, one of my goals is to help you connect with its timeless wisdom along other ancient teachings that were the basis of my education as a monk, and that have significant relevance to the challenges we all face today. What struck me most when I studied monk philosophy is that in the last 3,000 years, humans haven't really changed. Sure, we're taller, and on average, we live longer. But I was surprised and impressed to find that the monk teachings talk about forgiveness, energy intentions, living with purpose, and other topics in ways that are as resonant today as they must have been when they were written. Even more impressively, monk wisdom can largely be supported by science, as we'll see throughout this book. For millennia, monks have believed that meditation and mindfulness are beneficial, that gratitude is good for you, that service makes you happier, and more that you will learn in this book. They developed practices around these ideas long before modern science could show or validate them. Albert Einstein said, if you can't explain something simply, you don't understand it well enough. When I say how relevant the lessons I was learning were to the modern world, I wanted to dive deeper into them so that I could share them with other people. Right? So he came about his book the way I came about the book club, kind of, right? This information was changing my life. It was so powerful. So I had to share it with other people who wanted to hear it, right? I know for a fact that this information is not for everybody. It's not for everybody, right? This is the stuff that the 1% of the world studies, right? So I know that, but for those who are seeking that self-mastery, right? That self-awareness, that positive life, just a positive vibe, not just to say it, right? Good vibes or positive vibes only, but to really feel it, right? That's what this is for. Okay. 3 years after I moved to Mumbai, my teacher Gauranga Das told me he believed I would be of greater value and service if I left the ashram and shared what I'd learned with the world. My 3 years as a monk were like a school of life. It was hard to become a monk and even harder to leave. But applying the wisdom to life outside the ashram, the hardest part felt like the final exam. Every day I am finding that the monk mindset works, that ancient wisdom is shockingly relevant today. That is why I'm sharing it. These days, I still consider myself a monk, though I usually refer to myself as a former monk since I'm married and monks aren't permitted to marry. I live in Los Angeles, which people tell me is one of the world capitals of materialism, facade, fantasy, and overall dodginess. But why live in a place that's already enlightened, right? Why live in a place that's already enlightened? Now, in the world and in this book, I share my takeaways from the life I've lived and what I've learned. This book is completely non-sectarian. It's not some sneaky conversion strategy, I swear. I can almost promise that if you engage with and practice the material I present, you will find real meaning, passion, and purpose in your life. Never before have so many people been so dissatisfied or so preoccupied with chasing happiness, right? Chasing happiness, chasing a good life. That's what everybody's doing, right? Never before have so many people been so dissatisfied or so preoccupied with chasing happiness. Our culture and media feed us images and concepts about who and what we should be, while holding up models of accomplishment and success. Fame, money, glamour, sex. In the end, none of these things can satisfy us. We'll simply seek more and more, a circuit that leads to frustration, disillusion, dissatisfaction, unhappiness, and exhaustion. It's helpful to draw a contrast between the monk mindset and the ancient Buddhist concept of the monkey mind. Our minds can either elevate us or pull us down, okay? I think this is major key of the day. Our minds can either elevate us or pull us down. Today, we all struggle with overthinking, procrastination, and anxiety as a result of indulging the monkey mind. The monkey mind switches aimlessly from thought to thought, challenge to challenge, without really solving anything. But we can elevate to the monk mindset by digging down to the root of what we want and creating actionable steps for growth. The monk mindset lifts us out of confusion and distraction and helps us find clarity, meaning, and direction. Okay, so now I am going to go over some monkey mind versus monk mind. Okay, and as I'm saying these things, you take a little note of what monkey mind traits you are carrying, right? So you can change them. You don't got to tell me, this is private, and you don't got to lie to yourself either, right? If you do some of these things, if you think in some of these ways, it's okay. That's the point. We want to grow here, okay? So you got your monkey mind and you got your monk mind. The monkey mind is overwhelmed by multiple branches. The monk mind is focused on the root of the issue. The monkey mind coasts in the passenger seat. The monk mind lives intentionally and consciously. The monkey mind complains, compares, and criticizes. The monk mind is compassionate, caring, and collaborative. The monkey mind overthinks and procrastinates. The monk mind analyzes and articulates. The monkey mind is distracted by small things. The monk mind is disciplined. The monkey mind is looking for short-term gratification. The monk mind is focused on long-term gain. The monkey mind is demanding and entitled. The monk mind is enthusiastic, determined, and patient. The monkey mind changes on a whim, right? Any little thing, they don't take a detour, they just change the whole goal, right? So monkey mind changes on a whim. A monk mind commits to a mission, vision, or goal. Commits. The monkey mind amplifies negatives and fears. So that's what they talk about, right? They amplify those things. They give more energy and more power into it because they keep it as their point of attraction. That's what they're talking about. That's what they're thinking about. And that's probably what they're speaking about, right? So the monkey mind amplifies negatives and fears. The monk mind works on breaking down negatives and fears, right? So solutions focused or problem focused. The monkey mind is self-centered and obsessed. The monk mind is looking for self-care for service. The monkey mind multitask. The monk mind single task. The monkey mind is controlled by anger, worry, and fear. Okay? The monkey mind is controlled by anger, worry, and fear. The monk mind controls and engages energy wisely. They make it sound so nice and sweet, right? Controls and engages energy wisely, right? I am the master of my thoughts and actions. The monkey mind does whatever feels good. The monk mind seeks self-control and mastery, right? The monkey mind looks for pleasure. The monk mind looks for meaning. The monkey mind looks for temporary fixes. The monk mind looks for genuine solutions, okay? So yes, like I said, if you have some of those monkey mind traits, it's okay, right? Because we're going to grow. We're going to change them every single day. Thinking like a monk posits another way of viewing and approaching life, a way of rebellion, detachment, rediscovery, purpose, focus, discipline, and service. The goal of monk thinking is a life free of ego, envy, lust, anxiety, anger, bitterness, or baggage. Wouldn't that be nice? A life free of ego, envy, lust, anxiety, anger, bitterness, and baggage. To my mind, adopting the monk mindset isn't just possible, it's necessary. We have no other choice. We need to find calm, stillness, and peace. I vividly remember my first day of monk school. I had just shaved my head, but I wasn't wearing robes yet, and I still looked like I was from London. I noticed a child monk. He can't have been more than 10 years old, teaching a group of 5-year-olds. He had a great aura about him, the poise and confidence of an adult. "What are you doing?" I asked. "We just taught their first class ever," he said, then asked me, "What did you learn in your first day of school?" I started to learn the alphabet and numbers. What did they learn? "Why?" I asked. Oh, what did they learn? My bad, y'all. "The first thing we teach them is how to breathe." "Why?" I asked. "The one constant through your life is breath. All your friends, your family, the country you live in, all of that can change. Breath is with you always. This 10-year-old monk added, when you get stressed, what changes? Your breath. When you get angry, what changes? Your breath. We experience every emotion with the change of the breath. When you learn to navigate and manage your breath, you can navigate any situation in life. Already, I was being taught the most important lesson. To focus on the root of things. Listen, y'all, this is good. To focus on the root of things, not the leaf of the tree or symptoms of the problem. Okay? So already I was being taught the most important lesson, to focus on the root of things, not the leaf of the tree or symptoms of the problem, right? And I was learning through direct observation that anybody can be a monk, even if they're only 5 or 10 years old. When we're born, the first thing we must do is breathe. But just as life gets more complicated for that newborn baby, sitting still and breathing can be very challenging. What I hope to do in this book is to show you the monk way. We go to the root of things, go deep into self-examination. It is only through this curiosity, thought, effort, and revelation that we find our way to peace, calm, and purpose. Using the wisdom I was given by my teachers in the ashram, I hope to guide you there. In the pages ahead, I will walk you through 3 stages of adapting to the monk mindset. First, we will let go, stripping ourselves from the external influences, internal obstacles, and fears that hold us back. You can think of this as a cleansing that will make space for growth. That's my type of cleanse, right? Second, we will grow. I will help you reshape your life so that you can make decisions with intention, purpose, and confidence. Finally, we will give, looking to the world beyond ourselves, expanding and sharing our sense of gratitude, and deepening our relationships, right? So giving, being of service. We will share our gifts and love with others and discover the true joy and surprising benefits of service. Along the way, I will introduce you to 3 very different types of meditation that I recommend, including in your practice: breath work, visualization, and sound. All 3 have benefits, but the simplest way to differentiate them is to know that you do breath work for the physical benefits, to find stillness and balance, to calm yourself. Visualization is for the psychological benefits, to heal the past and prepare for the future. And chanting for the psychic benefits, to connect with your deepest self and the universe for real purification. You don't have to meditate to benefit from this book, but if you do, the tools I give you will be sharper. I would go so far as to say that this entire book is a meditation, a reflection on our beliefs and values, intentions, how we see ourselves, how we make decisions, how to train our minds, and our ways of choosing and interacting with people. Achieving such deep self-awareness is the purpose and reward of meditation, right? Achieving such deep self-awareness. How would a monk think about this? That may not be a question you ask yourself right now. Probably isn't close at all. But it will be by the end of the book. Okay? So that was the intro. And I'm stopping right here, y'all. This is the intro. If you took some value from that, drop me a 111 in the chat. And then our I am says, I am capable of accomplishing my goals. So if you took some value from that, drop a 111. I'm going to stop right here because y'all know I'm on YouTube and I don't want it to go past an hour. It's at 54 minutes. So this is perfect. What y'all think? Y'all like the intro to this book so far? Y'all think we gonna learn a lot from this book? I think we gonna learn so much. I'm definitely curious about monks because really what I know about monks is what I've seen on the media. You know what I'm saying? I've never really studied monks. I've never really did none of that stuff, encountered a real monk. All I've seen is like what I see on TV. And you know how we see them on TV. Meditating all the time, you know what I'm saying? Quiet, yes, the bald head, but he a monk, right? A former monk. And so we can be monks. I'm a monk, right? I'm a monk because I'm seeking peace. I'm seeking true peace and happiness. I'm seeking light, right? Seeking positivity in a negative world, right? Yes, I like it, and I truly want to get into this. Yes, we gonna get into this, Barb. We getting into this book. I hope you ordered this though, because it's a lot of like, as you guys will see as we read. I'll show you this little thing. So like, you see this little gray box. Like, he has a lot of these little gray boxes in the books, and the gray boxes are like action steps, right? So, we can actually get interactive with this thing this week and actually do these meditations, actually write out these things, right? Like, tomorrow we going to talk about where our values came from. And so he has like a little exercise on to figure out where your values came from. And the thing is, we all know we can read it, but if we don't actually do it, we're not changing anything, right? If we don't actually take the time to do this stuff, it's not going to help us, right? It's good to know. It's good information to have, but we have a lot of information. We collect information all day. It's about what you're doing with that information. You have to be executing. I always want a better way to increase my meditation, the focus, so that I can hear clearly. Yes. Yes. So, Barb, do you hear and see, or do you just hear? Because I felt like when I first started meditating, I was really clairaudient. Like, I could hear good. Now, as I've been doing it more and more and more consistently, like now for a year, I'm able to start seeing my visions, if that makes sense. Like, at first I wasn't, and I felt like I was doing it wrong because of that. So I was like, okay, I'm hearing everything. Like, I feel like I can hear 2 miles away, right? I'm hearing things, and I wanted to start focusing on that aspect first because I wasn't seeing. But now it's all like, it's just a progression. Like, so if you are only hearing and not seeing a lot yet, keep going. You will start seeing. You will start seeing what you envision. That is true with me. Yes, exactly. Yes, it's. I think that's just how it is. That's how it starts. Just keep at it. It's gonna change. And when it starts changing, you could be like, whoa, right? And we learned in the Power of Awareness, the book we just finished, because I've been doing this every night as well. I told y'all it's about taking the action. I definitely have to put myself on the forefront to do this stuff so I can make sure it works for y'all, right? I can't just sit up here and tell y'all to do all of this stuff and I'm not doing none of it, right? So, in the Power of Awareness, Awakened Imagination section, they told us that you need to be at night when you go to bed, replaying your day in your mind from the last thing you did to the first thing you did. So not the first thing you did in the morning when you woke up, but what you did right before you lay down in that bed. Backtrack it all the way to your morning wake up, right? And that helps. I'm not able to get all the way back, but I am able to go back far, right? Like, okay, I did this. And by the time, I know I'm not able to go all the way back because I fall asleep before I remember. But it's just about taking yourself back through those scenarios of the day, right? Putting yourself back in those situations with those people, in your mind, of course, right? You laying down in your bed, but it's strengthening your vision. Trust me, it's strengthening that vision. It's working for me, and I know it's gonna work for y'all. So yeah, that's it for today, family. Super grateful, super excited about this book. Super about to reach out to Mr. Jay Shetty because I want to connect with him. I want to bring him on a call with us. That would be the most amazing thing ever if we could get Mr. Jay Shetty to just talk to us a little bit about his awesome book that's helped so many people, that's going to help us. I can already tell. So yeah. Look, I got some manifestation to work on. Y'all put y'all energy behind it too. Let's get Mr. J Shetty on here with us one day. That'd be amazing. Okay. So that's it, family. Y'all know what it is. Protect y'all energy today. Protect y'all peace today. Don't let these energy vampires drain you and suck the life out of you. Be a light today. Be happy. Smile. Don't let the outside circumstances affect the internal peace. Our energy is our new identity. Okay, so I am y'all sister in love. I am your sister in light. I love you so much. I'm grateful for you. Have a good day, and I'll see y'all in the morning for chapter 1. Have an awesome, super fantastic day and continue to walk in your blessings. You too, Queen. Thank you so much. I sure will. All right. And that, all right, YouTube. Thank you so much. I'll see y'all in the morning.